Afternoon all. No respawns here. Hope you're doing well. So back at Sanctuary, we're going to be tackling that thing, the garage area. Now, this is one of those... This was meant to be yesterday, because I had no idea what the function of these... Well, I had a vague idea. And I wanted to obviously decorate them, make them look really cool. So this was meant to be yesterday, and it took me fucking ages to decide how to decorate them. What it is, you'll obviously have... I'll probably have a significantly attractive name in the actual title of the video and on the thumbnail, but basically this is Mama Murphy's shack and there is a clinic upstairs. I realised, because normally where the generator is, I normally had a shack for Mama Murphy in there. It was an actual trailer, and I was like, well, she needs a place now. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to give her any chem so she sits down, but I've got a place for her if she does. Now what I've decided to do with this one is this is actually the top floor area. Now what I'm doing right now, I'm pretty much going to take most of it off, but though it is using the metal prefabs, I wanted it to look a little weird, and to be honest, this wasn't really working. Now, you'll see why in a second. So, we don't have, and it's really fucking annoying, is we have these wall ends, right? But we don't have curved versions that look decent with curved. I don't know why, right? So if I wanted a flat, so I'm going to try and do it here. Come on, there we go. So there we go, I try and put it over there, and I can do that any other shape is fine. However, with these metal wall bits, it looks stupid, it just looks shit. Which is really frustrating, because there is actually a metal prefab that does in fact have funky, like it has a metal bit, it has a cover to cover up one of those things, right, like a wall end. But it's not a separate item, and I don't know why. I don't know why. For fuck's sake. God damn it. Oversight, Bethesda. You pricks. Loves you, though. Playing a lot of Skyrim still recently, by the way. Dawnguard is still one of the best DLCs. I just finished it. So good. So good. Oh, so good. Right, anyway, so we fixed what we're going to do now. I've also been watching loads of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, in case you're curious. And I'm gonna say it right now. DS9 is the best series of Star Trek ever. Come at me. Yes, as an Englishman, I do love Picard. However, Cisco is... he's got crazy eyes, and it's fucking awesome. And just the character development is so much better, and just the interactions and the relationships are so much cooler. Just thought I'd go on a whim there and just, distract you while I put this door on. So, this is the top shack. Now, this is the clinic. The decoration, now, I've decorated both buildings, and I prefer my Murphy shack to this. This still looks quite cool. It's 10 minutes away, but still, it does still look quite cool. However, I never know. I'm never happy with my clinic. So what I've done here is I've just kind of gotten two pillars. There are various ways you can do this. I just felt like trying to see if doing it this way would work. It totally does, so it's fine. Now, I'd recommend, which is what I do, quick saving before you move this in. Because if you fuck it up, that's it. Just, life's over, man. Life's over. If you fuck this up, wow. It's a bit shit, really. I can't remember what I'm doing here. Oh, yes, of course. So I'm going to pop some floors on. Oh, look, nothing more can build. One thing people have keep mentioning, I don't have the... Because you saw it said my settlement size limit is maxed out. I'm not using any of the mods that adjust settlement size. The reason being is I'm very conscious of them interfering. That's the kind of bug, that's the kind of glitch. There we go, one second. I'm just basically adding an extra floor to this. That's the kind of mod that would fuck up a glitch, and I'm conscious not to try it. And to be honest, it doesn't take me more than a minute just to scrap a load of guns, or store a load of guns. I've got them with me, I just stored it. It took me like literally a minute and a half. I don't have to do it very often, so this is, I'm adding this here just to kind of add a little bit more just floor underneath, so I can then, so it looks like it's merging with the top of the roof a little bit more. Now this one's actually a weird one. Yeah, but basically I don't use the expanded settlement size at all. It probably would be fine for my settlement needs, but I'm just kind of, I'd rather use the glitch because it might break it in some way. So this one, you see that roof is a complete clusterfuck. Also, the reason why it's going red so much is because of when I've... Just the length of this house is a little bit too long. You can just see basically the roof that I've glitched into the... This is Marcy and Jun's house. The roof is actually poking over the garage. Normally it isn't. So that's why that's doing that, which is a bit annoying. On my Sole Survivor's house, it's actually perfect. However, no such luck here. So I'm just going to pop these in. This took absolutely ages, by the way. I hope you guys realise this. It's so much, some of these builds, because I'm trying to, like, you probably gather, I'm trying to make them much more blended with the environment. But also I'm trying to put as much effort as I can to give you guys an idea of how to solve, because this has always been an issue area for me in Sanctuary, these kind of areas. Like, what do I do with them to make them look cool? But this took fucking hours to figure out, because I didn't know what to do. Initially, this, spoiler, I still got to cover that back area. You could have made it a little bit longer, I didn't. And I'm going to put something there. I don't do it in this video, but we're just going to put some fucking tyres there to clear out here. But basically, so initially this was going to look like where my sanctuary is. So my sanctuary house, my sole survivor house, it's got that kind of, you can just see it. You've seen it before. It's where it's got the grated pieces from the Unlock Settlement Objects tab, and it's there. Problem is, though, it's just the height of this garage, plus the fact that the roof, from when I fixed the ceiling, using sarcastic quotey hands here, using my original method from my second ever video on this house, it means I can't put them in, because also that garage is a little bit thicker. So my initial idea was to have that underneath and then have something on the top, and it just kind of, yeah, but this is the clinic. This looks quite cool, but no, this took fucking ages to do. Decoration, God! I really don't like doing clinics. I don't know why. I went a bit institute-y with this one, actually. Hope you like it. It needs a bit more decoration, actually. I had to stop myself, because like, you're going to get obsessive. And also, as you probably see already, I don't have, and I reinforced this as well, I don't have the scrap skeleton, scrap bushes mod enabled right now. Because it interferes with, because it messes with the mesh, so it interferes with lots of the pillar glitch. It doesn't stop it working, but it means you can't sink it in certain places. So that's why those bushes are there. So this was asked in the last video, but basically, if you can see the house plucking through. Don't worry about that. We cover that, it's fine. If you disable that glitch, disable that mod that scraps all the skeletons and the bushes, all of the stuff will reappear. However, if you re-enable it, you won't have to re-scrap everything again. Though I have heard rumours, actually, if someone could maybe confirm this, I've heard it does, is it something like it fucks with your power armor suits? Someone mentioned that. I don't know if that's something else, a different one, but basically, apparently when you re-enable it, it might reset your power armor in some way. Like, maybe the XO1 doesn't work properly, and it turns it into, like, T, whatever the first one is. I don't know. Anyway, someone mentioned it, and I've heard that before. Anyway, what we're doing here is the only thing that would fit in here was a shipping container, which actually fits perfectly under here. And I thought, okay, make a shipping container. I'm actually going to make some shipping container builds soon, and in hindsight, this would have probably worked better as a separate video, because obviously this is not, it would have worked for just kind of, oh, I want to make a shipping container, create a house. But anyway, this is a shipping container shack. Works quite well. Oh, also, I put the doorway on this in my method from my last video. People have mentioned this, and I just didn't notice. The Unlock Settlement Objects mod. See, I don't notice this, right? I don't even look. Had I scrolled all the way to the end, I would have seen that the mod developers actually added a shit ton of more doors. That also, you don't need to actually do my method, then use the pillar to actually get them on. So it's right, I'm an R, and kind of figure out exactly how to do this. I'm quite pleased with my doorway. It looks very cool. I might add, you should like it, you better like it, you bastard. It's fucking chill on me. It's good. So there we go, so that's it. The door's perfect. If I just scrolled, that's all I need to do, just to have a look. Dave, did you check? Because normally I always check the tabs, right? When there's an update, I always kind of have a look. And someone had mentioned it, but then I forgot. It's fine, door looks grand, it looks good. Pretty cool, actually. Pretty chuffed with it, looks good. But yeah, if you just scroll to the end of that tab, there are loads of new doors. Actually, some really cool ones. There's the Covenant house door. It's the Covenant doorway, so you can now, you've got the Covenant walls, you can just put the Covenant doorway on, which is pretty cool. They've got a new, like, loads of, like, they've got the doors from, like, the submarines. It's just very cool. Have a look. Have a gander. It's pretty grand. And they work as well. It's great. You've got the, safe doors. So, you know, you've got the giant vaults from, like, if you go into the bank, say, in Lexington, you can have that. So that's, I'm gonna have I think in the Minuteman HQ, like at the castle, I'm gonna have a vault that's just gonna be full of gold. Like, I'm just gonna have loads of gold bars. It's gonna be grand. There we go. Do this like this, make a kind of makeshift doorway. We need some thin metal bits. There we go. Now, something I did do, and I forgot to show you, Sorry about that. Yeah, I did that during the decoration period, so forgive me. But basically, that was a bit weird there. You want to, you know where you've got the gap between the doorway and just the bottom, the lip at the bottom, right? So right at the bottom, underneath the door. What I did do during decoration, because I noticed it, you could see a slight gap. You can see it right there. Right, what you want to do is open the door and just pillar glitch a railing as close as you can. And as close to the door, and it looks perfectly. Anyway, here is the tour. I didn't do anything else other than literally do that and then put a reverse junk fence on the side, just kind of add a little bit of texture. So this is quite a long tour as well, so I've shown you. So this is Mama Murphy's shack underneath here. I'm quite pleased with this one. It's quite cool. So using so much, she's got a cardboard box full of chems. She's got her chair, which even you can actually get with the unlock 7 objects mod, which is grand. I figured she would need loads of magazines and kind of games and stuff, so she's got a load of mags and shit and books and shit on the floor. Obviously a nice collection of chems next to her little chair. That shelf was an absolute nightmare to get shit on, but it looks pretty cool. And it's quite a weird little room. It's one of my favourite little decorations. I wasn't too sure if it would look any good, but overall I'm pretty pleased with the overall outcome. Also, I'm well aware this ladder is floating a little bit. I've got to fix it, and with them over there. Let's put a little glitch another one in. So here is my clinic. I'm quite pleased with this one. This was weird. I decided to kind of opt for quite an institute look. I need to do more decoration on this. Also, these metal walls are a nightmare because you can't actually put posters on them without them looking shit. So, I mean, I like it. It needs a different colour to white because it's quite institute heavy, which is a bit, for me, it bothers me. Some people probably like it. I don't so much, but I'm quite pleased with it. I just think it maybe needs something, a little bit more colour, a bit more of a variation from the institute style. But overall, it's looked pretty cool. I'm going to be using the mod which actually adds, I've got it, I just haven't got around to putting it down yet, the rug vendor mod. So basically, that little thing there, the table thing, will be where my vendor's standing, but I just didn't want an ugly rug when I was doing the tour. Plus it means I can actually put a fucking cash register on the top. So I mean, I quite like this, but I was kind of like, but if I spend too long decorating, the video will never be out. Anyway, I hope you guys like that. A bit of a, probably we should have relisted it as 2 separate vids, so it's a bit more easily organised, but whatevs. Anyway, as always, follow me on Twitter at norespawns, and I'll talk to you lovely people soon. You guys take care.